Hi muckers and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you're all having the best night ever. This is the third video on my channel tonight. I'm just in the best mood and I'm so happy to be back in Brighton being able to film daily videos again. So thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. I want to know what your opinion is below, so let me know. But first, let's get into our mucker hug. So thank you so much for being here. And I hope you enjoy this video, right? Alright, okay. So Trisha Paytas is being messy on Twitter again and is coming after someone who's coming after her and has exposed them in the process. But before I do get to this, I want to say that I was watching one of Trisha's live streams. You know, the way that that's Trisha's new form of doing content. Like, she doesn't really seem to be doing videos much these days. She seems to be just doing live streams in which people are stupidly donating money to her, and that's really the only people that she's acknowledging in them. And again, if you're sending your money to Trisha Paytas so that she gives you a 5-second shout out, Trisha Paytas, babe, we need to evaluate something. So anyway, Trisha did a live stream one of the last days, and this is a pretty normal thing now, but in this specific one, she talks about the fact that pretty recently she's been going through burnout. And that January for her was one of her roughest yet. And basically alludes to the fact that she really didn't show much of how, much she was struggling in January, and that it wasn't a good month. And then I was looking back on it, and I was like, okay, so that was around the time where Trisha was going on the honeymoons. That's around the time where Trisha was getting married in Maui. I was about to say Maui'd in Maui, because that's what Trisha said. And ever since she said that, I can't get the cringe out of my head. So anyway, there's that. But it is important to note that Trisha has openly acknowledged now that they were struggling in January. Now, the important part about that is that whenever Trisha's in the moment and getting a lot of criticism, for some reason Trisha has continuously gone down this route of trying to always one-up people who are giving her criticism, or trying to always one-up people that are giving her backlash, or just one-up people who are rightfully so calling her out for things. And I can reiterate that January to February, even the start of this month, was definitely a time where Trisha was getting called out again for the pattern of behavior that we've been seeing over the past couple years on her YouTube channel specifically, but over the past 10, 15 years. And also just a lot of the behaviors that happened within the Frenemies podcast kind of being reanalyzed and looked at again. And I did see an interesting point from someone, and they said that I don't know why everyone's having an issue with things that Trisha said on Frenemies now. Like, we had no issue in the moment. And I completely disagree with that, because I think that whenever Frenemies was happening, there was an episode a week, sometimes 2, sometimes 3 if they were doing a live stream. They were normally like 2 hours long, and to expect all of us to analyze a fucking podcast at the degree that we have the time to do now, because we have so much context, right, is not normal thinking. I'm so sorry. I have to stand up for the people that are analyzing all of the Frenemies episodes these days, because if you just think about it, like, whenever the podcast is coming out day by day by day by day, or week by week by week, you're watching it as the updates come in. But now, with any podcast, we can look back on Frenemies episodes and be like, oh, well, in this podcast, Trisha said this, but then in this one, she said this, and this contradicts this one. In the moment, you're not necessarily thinking about that, nor have the resources to really analyze and put 2 pieces of information together. And furthermore, after all that, it's important to note that Mysterious came out with the great video on Trisha that exposed so much disgusting, so many disgusting things that she did, including the Mr. Riley accusations, where on Frenemies, Trisha was accusing a teacher of getting prison time and being arrested because of what he had allegedly done to her in terms of SA, and that there was police statements and the family spoke out and all like this. And Mysterious done that great video that really just compiled it all together and showed that Trisha was saying this on Frenemies, and everything she was saying holds no substance and can be verified as not true. Now, that has been the case with so many different things that Trisha said, and I do think that the Mr. Riley accusations were definitely a pivotal point where, after that video came out, and people were able to, like, compare different things Trisha say and be like, wow, it was so easy for her to lie here. I think it kind of opened up a can of worms for people to do that for a lot of different things that Trisha has said on the podcast. Now, I want to know your opinion on that. But anyway, that was a long tangent on just that I disagree with people who are saying that we all didn't see a problem with the Frenemies in the moment, so why are we seeing one now? I completely disagree with that statement, and I want to know what your opinion is on it. But anyway, so on Twitter right now, Jacqueline Hill did a tweet and said, I do not understand people's obsession with money and my relationship. No, I didn't pay for my engagement ring. No, I didn't pay for the setting. No, I don't pay Jordan. But if roles were reversed, you wouldn't even care at all. So Jaclyn Hill did that because she's newly engaged, so congratulations, Jaclyn Hill. And then Trisha quotes it and says, so it's important to note that Jaclyn Hill's tweet has 10.4 thousand likes, and Trisha quoted it around the exact same time and has barely 400 likes on it. So it really is bizarre to look in the moment that people, like creators who have been around for the same amount of time that Trisha has, have so much more validity and so much more respect within the industry, that Trisha literally is able to tweet a similar thing out and is getting barely any engagement in it, whereas Jaclyn Hill is able to get, you know, 10,000, and that's just on Twitter. So Trisha quoted that tweet again that was, I do not understand people's obsession with money in my relationship. No, I didn't pay for my engagement ring. I didn't pay for the setting. I don't pay Jordan. Trisha said, I literally could have written this exact tweet. I rarely say this, but the only reason for these types of comments is jealousy. Plain and simple. No one's in danger. Nothing bad is happening. Just downright jealousy. And that is so, so, so sad. Now, I'm gonna be honest. Trisha, to insinuate that anyone is jealous of your relationship with Moses is quite funny. Like, there's no other way to put it. I don't think anyone is jealous of that relationship. I don't mean to sound like a bitch. I'm just saying it how it is. I do not think there's a single person in this planet who looks at what you and Moses have and go, oh my God, if only I could have that. People are looking at it and being like, God, I do not want that. And that's, again, not to be just rude, but it's like to insinuate that people are just jealous of your relationship with Moses whenever there have been so many different things accused of both of you. And then together, nah. So anyway, someone responded to Trisha's tweet and said, no, it's actually just because we hate you. So that is in relation to Trisha saying that the only reason people say this is because they're jealous. This person responded and said, no, it's just because we hate you. And then Trisha responds and says, and yet you still follow me. And it's so weird, right? So tweeted out a picture of this person's Twitter that basically just says, like, follows you. So again, Trisha is trying to make the one-up point by saying, and yet you still follow. Now, to insinuate that someone follows you and is your biggest fan is quite the ego boost. No, I think a lot of people follow Trisha Paytas, including myself, to keep up with the drama these days. And I think that's the reason why a lot of people follow news outlets that maybe they don't fully align with every single opinion they have. Or why people might follow the US president, even if they are a different party, or if people follow the UK Prime Minister whenever they're not supporting him, because they're keeping up with the news. It's not like, oh my God, you're such a big fan. And of course, this person follows Trisha because they responded within a couple seconds of Trisha's tweet going up. So for Trisha to be like, and yet you still follow, that's really not the one up you want. So anyway, there's a couple responses to this tweet that are interesting. Someone said, here we go again with the passive aggressive pretending you're so unbothered. Christina said, I honestly think it's really screwed of you to post a screenshot of this person's page. If you're so above everyone, block them. Instead, you want to incite hate, which is hilarious considering you spent months blaming H3 for inciting hate towards you and talking about them and other creators whenever they just want to punch down. Now again, that is one of Trisha's favorite terms to ever use. Saying they go after people with much less followers than fully knowing, and you're sending a hate mob. You're the one constantly preaching that people have, you know, to say whatever they want about public figures and that it's not right, but here you're doing it. Alright, so it's just fucking like, it was not the one-up Trisha wanted, and it's just really weird. But I'm just like so hyper-focused on the fact that Trisha is openly acknowledging now that they weren't in a good place in January, because that's whenever Trisha was, hi, my dolly is here. That was when Trisha was flaunting the most that they were the happiest whenever they were getting so much backlash, and it was kind of, again, like a one-up, like, look how much backlash you can give me, and I'm still thriving, and I'm still happy, and I'm still loving life. You know, trouble in paradise. And again, we now have Trisha at least like a month later acknowledging it. I mean, at least we're getting it sometime. But in terms of trying to like one-up a follower by saying, and you still follow me after they give you criticism or give you hate, whatever way you look at it, right? It's just so bizarre because, again, in doing that, Trisha posted the screenshot of this person's account, tried to call them out, which is then going to give them so much hate, which again is what Trisha has said that has been happening to her for years now, but again has been happening with the H3 fans. So to just make that argument against someone else that you have been making in defense of yourself for the past couple months just shows, and this is how I'm gonna end the video, that Trisha doesn't care about anything unless it just revolves around her and not getting more backlash or not getting exposed or not getting called out anymore. But I want to know your take on it. Sweetie. I want to know your take on it. Let me know. We'll talk below, and thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!